Welcome to Crafty Little Beach. This is Julie. Today I have a Dollar Tree DIY for you. I'm actually using one of these signs I got on clearance at Target Dollar Spot, but Dollar Tree has the same exact sign, same size and everything. And what I want to do is do like a little Sola wood rose ombre like wall hanging. So I'm going to cut down a piece of cardstock. This is just the regular sheet of the paper, and that sign and the Dollar Tree sign are just a little bit smaller. And what I want to do is take these little wood curl roses from the Dollar Tree. You get 4 in a package. And I want to do like a whole wall of them on that sign. But I also want to spray paint them ombre, and so I don't want the overspray to go on the sign. So I'm going to do it on cardstock first. That way the overspray will just go on the cardstock instead. So I had to kind of see how many was going to fit on here. I did 5 across. And then I thought I could do a 7 down. I ended up only being able to do a 6 down. So I only used a total of 8 packages. I had 10 just in case because I wasn't sure how many I was going to need. And I'm just kind of laying them out, get them ready. And then what I'm going to do is attach these to the cardstock and paint them on that with like the ombre effect. I've never painted these before, but they turned out really cool, so I'll probably do that again. I love these little wood flowers from Dollar Tree. They're so pretty. And the great thing about a lot of these DIYs today is since I'm doing pinks, you could do it for Valentine's Day, but all of them are spring DIYs, so you can leave them up all spring. So that works great. Now, the most challenging part, as you can see, is getting the hot glue to dry to make sure these little flowers are standing straight up and not tipping over. I was trying to do like maybe a couple at a time to make it go a little bit faster. But I just keep gluing down. And, you can like put things next to them to kind of hold it up, but I was just trying to hold it. I don't want like a permanent bond. I just wanted enough of a bond to make these little guys stand up so that I could paint them first. And I'm glad that I did like this cardstock or paper method because it did get lots of overspray on the back, and that would have just not looked as good on the final product. So a little bit of prep, getting you ready for this one for sure. So I'm already on row 5. As you can see, there's no way I'm going to be able to fit 2 more rows in there. So a total of 8 packages is plenty for that size sign. And that sign from the Dollar Tree, they have a couple different finishes of wood of that one, but I actually had the one from the Dollar Spot, so I'm going to use that one today. So we have them all. They're all standing up, except for this one. Trying to get the glue to dry just enough. I don't want like a permanent bond or anything like that. I just want to be able to paint them. So I'm going to go ahead now that I've got them all attached to cardstock and kind of put them in a box so that we can start spray painting them. I picked up a couple colors of pink spray paint at Lowe's yesterday because I wanted to do like a pink ombre. So what I'm going to do is start with this gloss mambo pink, I guess it's called, then candy pink, and then more of a white. This is like called sand dollar. I didn't really want that bright of a pink, but finding different shades of pink is a little bit challenging, I was noticing, so we're going to make it work. So I'm going to start with like the most bold color, the Mambo pink here at the very top, and I'm just going to simply spray paint the first couple of rows with a little overspray on the 3rd row there. And then I'm going to switch to the candy pink, which is way lighter. And the great thing about using spray paint to ombre is that you naturally get that fade between one to the other from the little bit of overspray. And I kind of did like, 2.5 of the soft pink too. And then we're going to finish it up with like the shade of white. This isn't exactly white, but it's pretty close. Kind of a soft white. And I sprayed the bottom 2 rows with the white. Now I do want that ombre effect, a little bit more pink than white. So I did spray again a couple times like the pink there to make sure everything kind of looks good. That slow, gentle transition in color. And then I just speeded up the drying process with my heat gun. It actually went pretty fast. Now we can attach these to the sign. I love this idea. You could do this, on a smaller scale or a larger scale. Just so pretty. And you could do it with, artificial flowers as well. But I really like the look of the little Sola roses. I think they're super sweet. So let's go ahead and start attaching these. I'm going to be doing the same thing as I did on the cardstock, hot gluing them one at a time. And you do have to be kind of careful pulling them off. You don't want to break the flowers. And so I'm going to actually start in the middle. It doesn't really matter as long as I'm using like the right row of color. That way I can get my center row centered properly. So I just sit that, and again, as you can see, it does take a while for the hot glue to set up. So it's almost better to kind of put some things, and I'll show you what I ended up using to kind of, stand the flowers up while the hot glue is drying. And then I'm going to start here on the bottom with one of the white roses. And I wanted to kind of do the first middle row first, so I would kind of know my spacing. And as you can see, what I'm using to stand them up are just the little pink finger protectors from Dollar Tree. That worked perfect. They were just the right size and small enough that you can kind of put them wherever needed. So as you can see, I'm going from top, and then I'm also working up from the bottom. And then I have two more. I want them to be kind of spaced evenly without like a huge gap, and I think that's going to work fine. And so I just glue those in place as well. Trying to make sure that I have the ombre effect. And then I'm just going to finish it off by gluing all the rest of them. I'm kind of working from the center out. I'm going to go ahead and do all of the hot pink up here. I didn't really want to do that bold of a pink, but really I only had one row here that was that bold because I had a lot more of, the mixture between the colors. Like this is kind of turned out like a medium pink, which is great. And those little finger protectors worked perfect for this because I could hot glue them, stand them up with that while that glued, and it actually turned out really sturdy in the end. So I'm going to continue my way down, doing all the colors in the ombre. And I'm just going to leave like that frame, that color. And as you can see, that wood background looks great back there. And if you can see like the back of my paper, how much overspray there was just by a couple passes with that, definitely was the right way to do it. Now, I found the best way to pull these off the cardstock was actually just to rip the paper just a little bit, and then you could just cut it off, and it almost gave you more of a flat bottom for these that you could glue down to the sign, and it made them actually a little bit easier to attach. So we're just going to finish up the final few rows here. And you can see that gentle ombre effect with the pink. I love that. I think that's so fun. And I think this is going to be a great little wall hanging for spring. Since it's kind of a firm sign, you could also kind of lean this against something, make it more of a shelf sitter. Haven't decided which way I'm going to use it. I kind of like it like leaning up against something. I think it looks really pretty for spring. And that's all there is to it. So we have the little wood Sola. I'm going to go ahead and get all of any of the glue strings. It's really easy just to melt those off with your heat gun. Clean it up and make sure it looks its best. And I love how this turned out. There was definitely a little bit of prep by having to glue it twice, but I'm so glad I did because in the end I got this beautiful wood flower wall hanging. Isn't this so pretty? And the ombre effect, I love that, the different pinks. And the only way I think you probably do that is with spray paint. I don't normally spray paint a lot of things, but I thought to get inside the flowers like that and to get a really cool ombre effect,